come on in. It's dinner time. Let's make something together. If you're ever looking at the clock and thinking to yourself, oh, what's for dinner? I'm your girl. I literally wrote the book on it. So tonight we are making one of my favorites, weeknight wedding soup. Wedding soup is a big deal in my family. I learned this recipe from my dad, but my dad makes this an all-day affair. He makes his own meatballs, he makes his own chicken stock, and Mama don't have time for that on a Tuesday night. So we're cutting some corners here, but not cutting on flavor. So we're gonna use some store-bought chicken broth, and we're gonna use some frozen mini meatballs to whip this thing up in no time. Let's do it. All right, let's do this. Weeknight wedding soup. This comes together really fast. Kind of the most labor intensive is just the chopping of the vegetables, and then we're halfway home, baby. So we're gonna start with 3 carrots and 3 pieces of celery. I'm just gonna shave off the skin here because it's a little funky looking. Honestly, I don't even know if you really need to do that, but let's go for it. And then we're gonna chop that into just like little slivers. I don't like to bite into anything too hard in my soup, but it's going to cook for long enough that it's gonna get nice and tender. So we'll just cut this down. What I love about the weeknight wedding soup too is it's one of those dishes that gets better with time. So I could make this on a Sunday night or even on a day after work when I have a little time, when I just wanna be in the kitchen. And then I've got it for the rest of the week. And as the days go on, those flavors sort of meld together. Whatever magic happens in the refrigerator, that's none of my business, but it does something. Okay, so we got that. Ah! Man overboard, you stay here. The onion, actually, we're just gonna throw it in like whole because I just want the flavor of onion, but I don't want to bite into an onion, and I frankly don't want to take the time to cut it. So that's another workaround of mine. I don't know if you're on board with that, but I am. All right, so let's get these into just small little pieces. I like to just stack them on top of each other so I can be the most efficient. And again, don't come for me for my knife skills. I'm not classically trained. Alexa, off. I'm filming a television show. Yeah, I'm not a knife expert. I'm not classically trained. In fact, I'm not trained at all. I'm just a girl in the kitchen who found a way to make dinner for my family as fast as possible that tasted good, made everyone happy, and didn't make me crazy, all right? And I'm happy you're here. How worried are you that I'm gonna chop my fingers off on a scale from 1 to 10?
Like a 4.
And then I'm not going fast enough. I am doing this. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm digging my nails into this so that my little fingers are safer. I will say that. It doesn't have to be precise, just kind of a rough cut. See, I find dinner time to be a fun time and a relaxing time, and I know a lot of you would disagree. Dinner time is stressful and crazy and chaotic, and yes, I've been there too, but I am trying to change that. I'm trying to make 5 o'clock fun again. Trying to take the stress out of the kitchen and make it fun. It's food, it's supposed to be fun. All right, my friends, and then we're just going to chop this onion in half. Get the outside layer off, and then we're just gonna pop this in for flavor, and then we're gonna pull it out at the end. So I'm not even gonna monkey around with, oh my God, that's what my grandpa used to say. I'm not gonna monkey around with cutting it. Okay, so we've got our veggies, our onion. This is going in. Oh, we're also gonna wanna put we're gonna put the spinach in at the end because otherwise it gets too wilted. So into the pot, let me bring everything over. My chopping block also becomes my waiter's tray. So we're going over to the stove. What I love about this one is it is a one pot deal. So everything's gonna happen in here. it means less dishes for us in the end, so everybody wins. All right, we have everything here now. We're gonna put that store-bought chicken broth in as our base. Now we're using chicken broth, and no, there is a distinction between chicken broth and chicken stock. Chicken stock, store-bought, is not gonna have the amount of salt that chicken broth does. Chicken broth is pretty salty. I like the chicken broth, and then I don't add any salt in the end, unless I really need to, which this has a lot of good flavor, so I usually just add pepper. Because things could get salty really fast if you start adding salt on top of this. Just a little note. All right, so let's get this up. This is my high heat. We're gonna boil this. So I've got 1 pound of chicken breast or chicken thighs. Today I'm gonna use chicken thighs, but they are skinless. Into the pot, and that's gonna cook. It's gonna cook itself, and it's also going to start creating some great flavor for us as we add in everything else. Now I'm nervous because I touched chicken, so I'm gonna go wash my hands 52 times and I'll be right back. Okay, hands are clean, we're good. We're gonna get everything else into our pot. I've got the onion, I'm just gonna throw it in. We're gonna pull this out at the end, so I didn't even bother chopping it. And this is actually, do you guys have one of these? This is a dough cutter. My dad got me this, and it is so awesome for scooping up your veggies. I love it. No veggie left behind, and except for that one. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like a pro. It's a nice little tool. All right, and then here is our frozen meatballs. And again, I just took these out of the freezer, so they're still frozen through. They've been thawing a little bit as we've been chatting, but I'm popping them right in here. It's not gonna hurt anything. And again, if you have homemade meatballs, great, throw them in there. If not, no harm in the frozen, not at all. All right, so we're gonna crank that up. I'm gonna do some pepper. Again, I'm not adding salt because that broth has a lot of salt in it. Just a little bit of pepper. All right, so we're gonna crank this up to high, bring this to a boil, and then let it cook for 30 minutes, and we'll be back. So it smells divine in the house right now. This has been on the stove boiling for half an hour. The chicken is perfectly cooked through, those meatballs, they're cooked through, and now this is a super important step. We're gonna take a ladle of this chicken broth, and now it's infused with that chicken and the meatballs and the veggies, and we're gonna let this cool. This is what's gonna make this wedding soup and not chicken soup with meatballs in it. We're gonna do something called stracciatella, and it's a super important step. So in order to cool this faster, I'm gonna throw it in the fridge real quick. That chicken is cooked. We're just gonna fish it out because we're gonna shred it and put it back in and shred it into little pieces that we would wanna bite into when we're having our wedding soup, all right? So, I know it's nothing to look at now, but just you wait. These sad little chickens. Where's the other one? Oh, there you are. Come on out. There we go. Now check this out. All right, so this is really hot, so use a fork. This is my new gadget. I got influenced to buy a chicken shredder, and I don't usually fall for this stuff, but I hate shredding chicken. It's just, I do it a lot actually. And so I bought this, and I'm kind of obsessed. So you put the chicken right in there, okay? You don't want to overstuff it, but like, let's say we'll do 3, all right? You put it here. And then you spin it. I mean, if you're ever doing like, I do the chicken, what's it called? What am I trying to say? The hot sauce with the chicken, the buffalo chicken dip. Buffalo chicken dip, boom, got it. Menopause, how are you? Look at this. So look at the chicken. Shredded perfectly in 2 seconds. I'm gonna give it one more little spin. I'm not in menopause. I just might be in perimenopause, just for the record. The estrogen patch is doing its thing. All right, so back into the pot we go. So those are little pieces that we would like to have on our spoon when this is all done. One more little piece, shred it up. And of course, you don't have a handy dandy one of these, no big deal. You know what I've also done? I've thrown it into the stand mixer, or you can just do it with your fork. It just takes a few extra minutes, and as you've learned by now, I like the quickest means to the end. And there you have it. Perfectly shredded chicken, back into the pot. Give that a stir. So I didn't turn this all the way off, I just have it on like a simmer. We're almost done here, guys. This is gonna come together real fast now. We're gonna add our chopped spinach, okay? Some nutrients going in. And this may look like a lot, but if you've ever worked with spinach or kale or any of the greens, you know they just cook way down and disappear. So I'm not afraid to throw that in. So while we're at it, we're gonna pull out that onion that we put in. Remember, we just cut it in half. We're gonna fish that out. All right. And now we're gonna add our uncooked orzo pasta. I used to cook this on the side, again, dirtying a separate pan, and I wanted to keep everything into one pot. So we're gonna let the broth cook this orzo pasta. Give it a stir. Okay, so while we were doing that, our chicken broth was cooling for this very important step, which makes our wedding soup and not just chicken soup with meatballs and some other stuff in it. This is called stracciatella, and that just simply means mixing cheese with the egg, and in our case, mixing it into the chicken broth. And the reason this has to be cold is if we add egg to hot chicken broth, it's gonna scramble, and we don't want that. All right, so watch the magic happen. We're gonna put the cheese in with the chicken broth, freshly grated Parmesan if you can, and then our eggs. Give it a good little whip. And this is our stracciatella. It's gonna change the consistency of that broth right there. It's gonna go from thin to having some oomph to it. And also, this is a lot of Parmesan, so it's gonna add a lot of flavor, a little more saltiness, a little nuttiness like Parmesan does, and really give it that Italian vibe instead of just a chicken soup. So I'm gonna add this stracciatella mixed with the chicken broth to the soup, but I'm not gonna dump it all in because again, we risk like scrambling it. So I'm just gonna kind of let it go at a little flow and mix it in, little at a time. You can already start to see what's happening here. It's looking like something you can eat for dinner and not just a little side. A lot of the Italian dishes have that rusticness to them where you're kind of making something out of nothing and stretching it. I noticed that a lot of my grandma's recipes, she added egg to things, and I think it was just to kind of stretch it, to give it a little more consistency, a little more texture without, you know, having the money or the means to make something elaborate, kind of stretching what you have. And the best foods are the rustic foods. So here we have a delicious soup. We're just waiting for that orzo to cook. And she's good as done. And get your favorite bowls. They might be up high. We make do, us short people. Okay. Ta-da! Oh boy. Dinner is served. That was so easy. Aside from the chopping, what do? We just let it sit. Would you look at that? I mean, that is a meal. So let's plate it up, or bowl it up in our case. Get a nice layer of broth on the bottom. Go in with that meat mixture. Everybody gets a few meatballs. Don't be shy. It's a beautiful thing. And this is gonna get better as the days go on. If you need to make this in advance and you're gonna store this in your refrigerator, some magic happens, it gets even better, but it can thicken up. The orzo can suck in that broth and kind of like soak it all up. So you can always add more chicken broth. If you don't want to add more salt, you could add more chicken stock to stretch it. If you want it a little brothier, even a little water, there are things you can do to kind of stretch it out. Let's eat. Look at that. So you can serve this with a nice piece of crusty bread, maybe a little salad, and you've got a beautiful dinner, especially on a cold winter's night. I also like to serve this for holidays as a starter. But let's dig in. Look at that. Get a spoonful of that carrot that we worked on, chicken, spinach, the shredded grated cheese. Oh, that hits the spot. It's very rustic. I like how the vegetables are roughly chopped even. It just works. And then of course you've got your meatball, which is really the star of the show. But I actually sometimes forget about it because I like the other stuff so much. That's what makes it a meal. Delish. You've got to try this. Weeknight wedding soup does not miss a beat. Your family is gonna love it. Subscribe, follow for more. We're gonna cook my way through my entire cookbook. Oh shit, what's for dinner? I've got plenty more recipes. We're gonna have a good time. Oh, don't do that. Don't put the bowl in boiling water. Look at that. Ah! We're going over to the stove where my pot used to be. So here we go. We're gonna get our chicken broth, which I forgot. Yeah.
Great.
Yum.